Yes! Alrighty, what's up everybody? It is I, your Travel God of Extreme, Peter Joseph here, for a Sunday evening video, right here, on the Peter Joseph YouTube Wrestling channel, youtube.com/Peter Joseph. Make sure you like the video, hit the subscribe button down there in my pants, otherwise known as the description box below, and subscribe to this very channel and my other channels as well. Show your love and support on the channel. Leave a comment on this video or any one of my other videos. But don't leave stupid comments. You get sent to the Shadow Realm. Satan and Ozzy will eat your fucking soul. And you'll just be a complete idiot when you do that. But your choice. That's pretty much it. Share the video all over the internet. And don't forget to follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Share the video all over the internet. Don't forget to tap and slap that bell. Turn on all notifications so you don't miss the next one. Because if you miss anything, you need to get slapped in the face violently. And you're pretty much SOL. You know what that means. If you don't know what it means, look it up. And that's that. And if you're brand new here, well, welcome to the party, pal. We hope you enjoy the ride. Sit back, relax. Grab yourself a nice, tasty, cold one. Pepsi! Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. You like it? Great! You don't? Well, fuck you. And that's pretty much it for that. So, like, share, subscribe. If you want, leave a comment, and all that other good, clean fun. That's it. Nothing left to say there. And we move on. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it's Sunday. Football Sunday. Well, for my Niners, we're off this week. Play the Titans next week, who, played a pretty good game today. Lost. They beat Cleveland. Fuckers. So it's going to be a pretty, interesting game in Santa Clara next Sunday for Week 15 in the NFL League where they play for pay. And that's that. But the Niners, right now, they are the hopefully they'll be the number 6 seed because Seattle won today. They got the number 1 seed as of right now. And we're hoping and praying the Rams lose again to the Arizona Cardinals. It was a tight game before I wasn't watching most of it, but hopefully Arizona does the Niners a solid, and the Rams lose today. They fall to 3rd place because the Niners will go up to 2nd place because of the division record at 9-4, and will be 1 game back of 1st place in the NFC West, and possibly if the Bears lose today, close to the Seahawks. The Seahawks will be the number 1 seed in the league. Not that it matters because their next few games are hard. But we got that. Niners' schedule is kind of tough, not hard, but got the Titans next week. Then Indianapolis, who lost Daniel Jones today. He's out for the year because he tore his Achilles. So bye bye to you, dude. So that game in Indy has better complications than we thought there would, because everybody thought that Daniel Jones and the Dolts would possibly hand the Niners a loss in Indy. Now, I don't even know who Indy's backup is. And really, after Daniel Jones went out today, Indy just laid an egg. So, can't take the Colts lightly like the Titans. We got that. Then Monday Night Football, December the 22nd, at home against the Bears. I believe it's in Chicago. In cold as balls, icy Soldier Field. Oy. That's on Monday night. There's Sunday Night Football, Monday night. One of them. I think it's Sunday Night Football, Week 16. And then Week 17. Well, pretty much Week 18. We got 4 games left. The Niners got 4 games. Titans, Colts, Dolts, the Bears, and then the Seahawks at home to end the season. And that might be a big, huge game for the Niners if everything plays out well and the Niners can get first place by hopefully next week. And maybe, they're still holding on to a playoff spot, but, gotta hopefully hope the Lions, start losing out. They play the Packers and the Bears, next couple weeks, so gonna cancel each other out somehow, but Niners gotta at least get at least 3 out of the next 4 games they have to win. I think. Maybe they go 2-2 and get some help. Maybe they get a playoff spot, but right now we're worried about the Titans this coming next Sunday, week 15 in the NFL League, but they play for pay! And that's pretty much it. Alright, and the Jets, they got destroyed today, so Justin Fields was out. I mean, they put in the backup and he stunk. What are you gonna do? I think the Jets lost 34-10 to the Dolphins. So Jets go to 3-10. Giants are 2-11. Nobody cares. I mean, another year of garbage football here in New York City. But for my Niners, win 9-4, and just hoping to get that number 1 seed, the NFC West title, or a playoff spot. We'll see you in the next 4 weeks, my friends. So, dicey. And for you baseball fans out there, the winter meetings are pretty much have started. There's rumblings that Edwin Diaz is coming back. Pete Alonso might be coming back. Schwarber, who knows? With the Mets right now, who knows? But this week alone, the next couple days, are going to be pretty damn exciting. So that hot stove that we keep talking about, going to get molten hot in the next 36 to 72 hours. So it's going to be exciting for the next few days. So stay tuned. That's that. Alright, hope everybody had a great Sunday. And a great weekend, the first weekend of December. 18 days till Christmas at level 49. And then we got pretty much 3 weeks to the end of the year. So, holiday season's upon us. Get your Christmas gifts now. I know there's some delays with Amazon right now. Because I ordered a couple things. And a little bit of a delay. So, hoping to getting something this week, and I might be getting something before before Christmas and everything, and level 49. So, I got some stuff coming, some good stuff. I'm gonna hopefully, maybe, show it off. One thing I'm hoping to show off. We hope. I'm hoping it's gonna get here by Christmas or by the end of the year. We'll see. I ordered it, and I'm just waiting for it to come, so. But as always with shipping, it gets lost, it's delayed. Pain in the ass, especially during this time of year. Very busy with Amazon and UPS and FedEx and Dell and so many, United States Postal, the post office is crazy. So, as long as you get it early, hopefully you'll get it before Christmas. If not, by after Christmas, by the end of the year. And we'll see what happens with that. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, on this Sunday evening, getting close to Sunday night, December the 7th, 2025, right here on the Peter Joseph channel. I'm Peter Joseph, your great host. Put up your ones and acknowledge me, because you know you do, religiously. And that's pretty much it. I measure up. I am the bar! Not that bar, but I am the bar. The bar, like, Sheamus and Cesaro. Nobody's on my level. I mean, if they think they are, they're not. But it is what it is. Say what you want about me, I don't care. Make fun of my height. It's weird. You're 5'1". No, I'm 5'4". 5'4", 147 pounds. Twisted steel and sex appeal. That's why I get all the ladies. And you don't. So what? So what? I meet great people, and it's not Make-A-Wish, so you can't prove it either, so even if you tried. Just the right place at the right time, and as always, I'm Mr. VIP, very important Peter. Thank you. That's that. Alright, about that Bull Funky for 10 minutes. I know you clipped it. Bastards. That's all you got. Clip my intro, and then I start talking about wrestling. I don't want to talk. Go turn off the video. But at least you watched. Thank you for the view, asshole. Then we move on. Alright. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, on as the video below the title of the video below says, it is time for your late and out-of-date NXT Deadline Review for last night, December the 6th, 2025, the final NXT pay-per-view of the year, with the Iron Survivor matches for the men and women. We had Absolute Ricky Starks as he took on the big man, the Buddha from Wakanda, Ola, Hu, Femi. We had that, Tatum Paxley and Izzy Dame. And Ethan Page taking on Mr. Iguana, the legend, Mr. Iguana, with Jessica. Man, we got that. Alright, so let's get into it. Show was pretty good. Not great, but good. You know, good. Good. Or as the Emperor would say, good. Good. Let that hate flow through you. And now strike me down, Skywalker. Your descent to the dark side will be complete. Most impressive. Darth Vader says that, but it's really Emperor Palpatine, but impressive. That's that. Alright, speaking of impressive, so this pay-per-view was pretty good. And once again, we are from the Boeing Center at Tech Point in San Antonio, Texas. Scared them Cowboys that night, pretty much. And as always, our commentary team, well, back to normal. We have the creepy man with the creepy jacket, lots of Starburst candy, Skittles, whatever he has. That's Vic Joseph. And the weed man himself, the man who smokes more fucking weed than you do on a daily basis. And that's the two-time Hall of Famer, the Kool-Aid man himself, the simp himself. Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah. Booker T, sucker. That man needs to calm down. He was going berserk last night. I'm like, dude, calm down. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So, pretty good show, like I said. We had a special return of somebody you know. I know. If you follow my channel and watch my shorts a little bit, you know who came back last night. You know. We'll talk about him. Not him, but him. We'll talk, not Carmelo Hayes, but we'll talk about that guy that came back last night. Let me get that. Alright. So we started off the show properly with a video package. Again, talk about the Iron Survivor matches. And then, speaking of the Iron Survivor match, we get the rules. Why not? So we get the rules. And once again, 25-minute time limit. 2 wrestlers start with a new entrant every 5 minutes. And you can win by pinfall, submission, or I didn't even know this, but disqualification. You get 1 point. And the loser of the fall goes to the penalty box for 90 seconds. Kind of feels like hockey almost, but, you know. They go for 2 minutes, sometimes 5, sometimes 10. Most falls in 25 minutes wins a future NXT men's and women's title shot. So, lots at stake in these matches, which are pretty fun. Kind of takes elements of the King of the Mountain from TNA without the ladder and the title. So, we have that. Alright, but before we get to that, we start off Deadline with the big one for the NXT World Heavyweight Championship. We have Absolute Ricky Starks takes on the Gula, the Destroyer, Oba, Femi. This was a great match to start the show. I really wanted Oba to win, but I was feeling that Logic would win here, and that Ricky would win, and the winner, speaking of the winner of this match, they will face Cody! MDK and Cody, you bitch! This Saturday night, at Saturday night's main event, non-title, obviously, and we get that. So a lot of stake at this for this match. Both men probably would easily kick Cody's ass. So we got that. All right. So we start off, and with Ricky starting on the big man's arm, that gets reversed into one by Oba Femi. So some tactical wrestling 101. You love to see that. And then Oba tries an F5, something you don't see every day from Oba. That got blocked. And then Ricky with a code breaker on the arm. Ow. And then Ricky knocks Oba away, gets a near fall off a middle rope drop kick. To get back up, Oba shoves him into the corner for a forearm. And then he picks him up, hits the broken arrow a la Damian Priest. Oh, Poppy's gonna be happy about that. Or almost felt like a laser's edge, Chico. Something happened to this. Something happened to you, Chico. Scott Hall. Laser Lamont, Chico. Ese pero. No. Anyway, that gets a near fall. Over that beats the fuck out of Ricky with some forearms and some hard shots to the dome. He was laying them in. And then Ricky's like, "Come on, you motherfucker!" Or Shinsuke, "Come on!" That's what I say to everybody. Come on! And nobody brings it because they can't, because they don't measure up. But I digress. Oba just says, alright, I'll bring more. Boom, right in the head again. Ricky comes back with running kicks to the head. Top rope Hurricane Rana takes the big man down. And then a spear gives Ricky a near fall. Then he hits a Stone Cold Stunner. Stone Cold, my God almighty, Stone Cold. That connects on the near fall. Then he locks in a guillotine. Oba's in a little bit of trouble, but he uses his Super Saiyan strength and powers Ricky up onto the top rope, where Oba misses a charge and goes to the floor. Ow! And Ricky knocks him down, only for Oba to get in the ring at 9.99999999999 Batman 5. Pretty much. Then a Famouser gives Ricky a near fall. Oba then starts hitting Ricky in the face some more. His pretty face. And, then Oba hits what looked like the big ending, and, I heard Big E, went on Twitter, was like, impressive. That gets counted to a crucifix pin by Ricky, but he only gets a near fall. And then Oba charges at Ricky, missed, sends Oba into the ring post. Ow! Then another charge sends him into the ring steps. Ow, ow! Poor Oba's shoulder. Ricky then hits a tornado DDT off the barricade, and then drops Oba on the steps once again. Then another tornado DDT on the inside of the ring gives Ricky a near fall, and then Oba comes right back with Fall from Grace. It seems both men were down, and then Ricky's like, ah! Like he goes Super Saiyan, runs right into a sit-out Fall from Grace, and Oba goes for the pin. 1, 2, 3, we have a new NXT World Heavyweight Champion, once again for the second time, the big man, the Ruler, the Destroyer. Oba Femi gets the title back in under 17 and a half minutes. Pretty good match, and I gave that 3.25 out of 5 stars. So now, this Saturday night at Saturday Night's Main Event, Oba will face Cody, and Cody, you're dead. Done. I want Oba to smash that fucker up. Because if Oba loses, I think everybody and their mom will riot. Cody's garbage. at this point. He's garbage. Oh, and I heard a little birdie told me that our tribal chief, put up your ones, our tribal chief, Roman Reigns, is going to win, is going to have a title reign, not a big title reign, but then again, you never know. But they're saying he might win the World Heavyweight Championship, the one that Punk has, not the one that Cody has, but people are saying that Roman and Cody are going to fight, not at Mania, maybe at the Rumble. But really, does Roman need the unified title? I'd rather him hold the World Heavyweight title for about 3 to 6, maybe 10 months. They say short reign, but to Roman, that's like 5 years. Short reign my ass. And they want to kind of like elevate the title. Let that Roman... Roman doesn't even need to freaking elevate a title. He's Roman. You know, it's Roman. He doesn't need to elevate the title, and then he loses it to an up-and-comer like Oba. I mean, him and Oba would just annihilate each other. I would love to see that. I don't want him to lose to, like, Braun Breaker or some shit like that. Because I think Braun is going to destroy CM Punk at Mania, at the Rumble, or at either January 5th or at Mania. It's like, they were saying, rumors were saying that Braun is going to win the Royal Rumble, so that means he's not winning in Brooklyn on January the 5th. So, I mean, rumors usually come true, some don't, but like I say, if you hear a rumor, take it with a grain of salt. But this, when I heard with Roman, you could take it with a grain of salt with the short title reign. I know Issa won't take it. It's like, he's gonna hold it for 5 years. You know, we have to believe that, but like I said, even if he holds the title for 3, 6, 8 months and then loses to someone like Oba or something like that, I wouldn't be mad. If he loses to someone like Austin Theory or, you know, a schmuck like Cody again or Braun Breaker, then I'm like, nah. I mean, yeah, he had a good reign, but then he lost to an up-and-comer, and Braun's not really an up-and-comer. So you have to give it to, like, Oba or Ricky, maybe. That's an up-and-comer. Maybe a certain cousin of mine, you know what I mean? But it's going to be an up-and-comer. It's not going to be, like, somebody like, you know, Seth Rollins or somebody like that. Because Seth Rollins is not an up-and-comer. That's, in my eyes, it's not. But Roman will win the title again. We're all going to be happy. We're going to acknowledge him. And you too, all you marks, all you Roman haters, will acknowledge him again. And you will acknowledge the prophecy even more. So get ready to cry a little bit more. I'll grab you some I'll grab you some hankies. I'll get you some tissues. You know, not to, you know, whack off it, but cry when Roman's champ again. That's that. Alright, so Oba's the champ. He faces Cody at Saturday Night's Main Event. I don't know if we're going to see him tomorrow. Definitely see him Friday. I think we'll see Oba on Friday. I don't think we'll see them tomorrow. I doubt it. There is a rumor going around that we'll see Cena tomorrow in a surprise appearance, even though he's not, you know. I was like, oh, I only got one more appearance on that Saturday night, right? But as always, you hear something on the internet, most of the time it's fake. So, come to the source, the actual source, not the real, well, not the source, you know what I mean. So if I say something, I'm usually reading it from the copy, so don't take my word for it. Not that you do anyway, but some people take my words so seriously, and then they twist it, and then they think they're great. Like, oh, I exposed them! No, you didn't. You just made yourself look more dumb than you already are. That's that. Alright, moving on with that. From that. And then after the match, Code of Honor, which you rarely see from Oba. But, hey, sportsmanship! You love it. Alright, then we get to Kendall Gray with my girl Maddie Winkowski in the back. Kendall is ready to shock the world, and we see her strategizing for the Iron Survivor match. Strategery, pretty much. And that's that. Moving on with that. Alright, then we get a video for the Iron Survivor Challenge, and match number 2 on the program. The Women's Iron Survivor match, we had Kaylani Jordan, Kendall Gray, Sol Ruka, Big Mama Pump, Jordan Grace, and Lola Vice. So we had that. Alright, so we had Kendall Gray at number 2, Kaylani at number 1. So they battle it out. Kendall Gray gets the first point of snaps over a power slam after a handspring spinning famouser. Impressive. So she pins Kaylani pretty much at the 5-minute mark. So Kaylani has to go into the penalty box for a minute and a half. That sucks for her. So Kendall gets the first pinfall. And then pretty much almost 2 minutes later, Jordan Grace comes out at number 3. And then Kaylani gets out of the penalty box. Kaylani gets out of the box as Jordan Grace held Kendall down, cranks on both of her arms. Ow. Kaylani made the save. And then they trade, her and Kaylani trade foot roll-ups for near falls. But then eventually Kaylani Jordan gets the pinfall to get her first point in 7 minutes. So Kendall Gray has to go to the penalty box for a while. Lola Vice comes out at number 4. So you mean Sol Ruka is number 5. So Lola Vice comes out and she wastes no time with her kicks of doom. And then that wicked boom spinning back fist to Kendall Gray knocked her the fuck out. So she went into the penalty box, came out, go back in, you stay there. So Lola Vice gets her first point, or first pinfall point, whatever you want to call it. That's that. And then she continues with the strikes, and sends Kaylani into the corner, and Jordan Grace in the corner at the same time. And then she does the sexy hip attack with that, God damn you, priest, her sexy ass, the hip attacks, and then she goes for a pinfall, nothing there, and then Kendall Gray comes out of the penalty box, hits a Giddy Kessa, bang, and then pins Big Mama Pump in 12.5 minutes, so we got 12.5 minutes left of the match. So halfway through the match, Kendall Gray has 2 pins, and we get that, and Sol Ruka's not even in the match yet. So we got that. Alright, so after that, we continue on, and then, Kaylani's high cross body gets rolled through, and then Jordan Grace gets her first pinfall in basically around the 15-minute mark. So Kendall Grace had 2, and then everybody else is at 1. Sol Ruka hasn't even gotten in the match yet, like I said. But she eventually does get in. Right after that, to complete the field, so the match is actually, underway. Well, not underway, you have to, you know what I mean. So, basically, with almost, like 17 minutes left, well, actually, 17 minutes, 8 minutes left of the match, Kaylani takes Sol out on the way to the ring, but then Sol has to be taken out. I was like, where's she going? I thought they were taking her out of the match. But then Jordan Grace slows up the Knuckle Shuffle. Hi, kids! A little homage to John Cena. And then Kaylani Jordan, who was in the penalty box, she comes out, pretty much breaks that up, stomps on Kendall Gray. Sol Ruka comes right back in with a double Soul Snatcher and pins Kaylani Jordan in just under 18.5 minutes. So she gets her first point. And then Sol Ruka gets her second point as she pins Lola Vice. So she pinned both of them almost at the same time. not at the same time. She pinned Jordynne Grace. 2 seconds later, she pins Lola Vice to get back-to-back points. So Kaylani goes back to the penalty box. Lola Vice goes to the penalty box with pretty much 7 minutes left. 6.5, I should say. And then so Luka and Jordynne go after Kendall Gray. And then eventually Lola comes out of the penalty box. Actually, no. Lola choked Kaylani Jordan on their way out the penalty box. That was crazy. And then Kendall Gray grabs Shades of Grey on Jordynne Grace. But Kaylani made the save with a big splash, and then she steals a pin to get her second point. So Kendall Gray, Sol Luka, and Kaylani have 2 points, and this could get interesting. Lola Vice and Jordynne Grace at 1 point. Alright, so Jordynne Grace goes to the penalty box with about 4 minutes left. And then Lola Vice goes after Kendall Gray on the floor, but Sol Luka moonsaults onto both of them. And then Kaylani's like, alright, I'll top that. I'm gonna hit on the side. Moonsault onto Sol Luka, throws Lola back inside. And then something like an angle slam drops Lola Vice, but then Jordynne Grace gets out of the penalty box, plants both of them, and then a spinning torture rack bomb connects, goes for the cover, she gets the win, and we have 2 minutes left, and everybody except Lola Vice has 2 points. Lola Vice has 1 point with 2 minutes left in the match, and then pretty much 9 seconds later, Lola hits a wicked kick on Kendall Gray to tie everything up at 2 falls apiece with just under 2 minutes left. And I thought that we were going to go to overtime, we were going to go to sudden death, something was going to happen, like Ava Rain's going to come out, we're going to go sudden death! But Fast and Furious finish. Kaylani kicks Sol Luka's bad knee out, hits a 450 on Lola, goes to the pin, Jordynne Grace made the save, and then Kendall Gray comes back in after getting out of the penalty box just in time. It's a top rope Shades of Grey to Lola Vice as time expired. So, it's like 3 seconds left. 1, 2, 3. She gets the win. Probably, I mean, that's exciting to win in exactly 25 minutes at the buzzer. It's like winning a football game on a field goal or, a touchdown or safety at the buzzer. It's exciting. So Kendall Gray is your Iron Survivor winner, the Evolve Women's Champion. She will now face Jacy Jayne, most likely coming up at New Year's Evil, January the 6th, on a special episode of NXT on the CW11. So we got that. So, good match, 3.25 out of 5 stars, and that's that. We move on. Alright, then we go to the back with the Women's North American Champion, the lovely Blake Monroe. Oh my. She's looking good. And she issues an open challenge for her title. This Tuesday night on the program. She's there with Ava Rain. And Ava thinks this is not a great idea, but then she approves it anyway. Okay. I don't think that's really the best idea, but I'll allow it. Okay. Sometimes when somebody tells you not to do something, you do it anyway. Absolutely. Ray, when somebody tells you if you're a god, you say yes! I couldn't help it. Fuck you, Ray. Moving on. Alright, so Blake Monroe versus somebody, probably from the TNA locker room. Maybe somebody, I would hate to say Rosemary, but we'll see what happens on Tuesday night on the CW11 on a new edition, a new episode of NXT. We got that. Alright, then we go to Miles, don't call him Ozzy Osbourne. He's all ready for the big man, Femi, once again. That didn't go so well the first time there, right there, Miles. Anyway, so he decided he's entering the Iron Survivor Challenge in the number 3 spot, right down the middle, Daddy. That's pretty good. And then we hear some brawling going on. We have a cat fight! We have a cat fight between Kaylani Jordan and Big Mama Pump Jordan Grace. So, you meathead! I told you they were gonna fight. Something's gonna happen. We got that. And we move on. Alright, so both those segments I gave 2.5 out of 5 stars. Match number 3, ladies and gentlemen, for the Canadian National title. We have All Ego Ethan Page, the fake Canadian that he is, takes on the legend from Mexico, from Triple A, and that's Missy Iguana with Jessica. Not someone like. What do you think about Jessica, Mr. Dorito Man? That's Antonito to USA. How you doing, muchachos and senoritas? Ay. What do you think about Jessica? She's very nice, but I am better. Yeah, not as great as Osito. Ah, Osito! Ah! Okay. He hates that guy. Osito hates him too. He doesn't like him. I wonder why. Oh great, Peter's playing with his dolls again! If you see me playing with this, knock next time! Knock! Did you say anything? No, sir. I didn't see you play with your dolls again. Good. But knock next time. Just a good old Spaceballs reference. Love it. Alright, so this match between Mr. Iguana and Mr. Ethan Page, decent, not great. It's also with Ethan shouldering Mr. Iguana down, and then Mr. Iguana's like dead. He's like, and he's just like, Ethan and the referee like, what's going on here? Are you too stupid? He's playing possum, you moron. So, Ethan spins him around like a freaking top, and then he accuses Mr. Iguana of being dead, and then Mr. Iguana wakes up and then hits an arm drag, and then he rolls up Ethan for a near fall, and then he grabs Jessica and hits a DDT. You gotta love Jessica, you gotta love it. Anyway. And then a high cross body gives Mr. Iguana a near fall to go to the outside, with Mr. Iguana hitting a flippy dibbity-doo. And then Ethan gets all mad, since went to the ring steps. Ow! Then they go back inside. Ethan gets a bunch of green paint on his chest. Maybe because Mr. Iguana was sweating too much. I don't know. Sweat to the oldies? No. No. We're not gonna sweat to the oldies with the legend that he is, Richard Simmons. That guy never got any respect. I'm sorry. He was a crazy guy. Freaking David Letterman hated him so much. And then later on, he started respecting him. Okay. But, Richard Simmons was a crazy guy. He's still a legend. Without him, fat people would be still fat. They pretty much are, there's a lot of fat people around. They don't have sweating to the oldies anymore. They don't have a guy that tells you, this is some oldies and, sweat and do some exercising. Well, when Richard Simmons was around in the 80s, early 90s, a lot of people were losing weight. Sweating to the oldies, sweating to the 80s, sweating to the 90s, I don't know. We were sweating. And people were losing a lot of weight back then. Not so much now. You know who should do sweating to the oldies? Scott Steiner. He would be funny. You're fat! You son of a bitch, you're fat! You are fucking fat! I'll make you bleed, shut up! Alright, Scott, calm down. Calm down, dude. But you get the residuals off that. He would use Steiner math to make you look skinny. And it probably will work, I don't know. I buy it. And I'm not fat, except my dick, but, Even Rosa won't even need to use it because she's, not skinny, but she's, 165. He looks great. I'm 147, so. But my dick is huge! Huge! She loves it. And so is your mom's. But I digress. Anyway, but yeah, Scott Steiner doing Sweating to the Oldies, that'd be great. Good, Scott? You good? You get those paychecks too. Good. You good? Good. You're fat! Okay, calm down. Thank you. Can you get him, please? Thank you. Thank you, Braun Breaker, you maniac. Okay. Moving on. Alright, so after that, Jessica bites Ethan's fingers. We're gonna bite her! But, he pulls off a rope walk out of the air into a power slam. I think that was by Ethan. That was very impressive. Then Ethan spits on Jessica. I mean, dude, come on. Throws Jessica on the floor, and then Mr. Iguana is pissed! But he gets crotched on the top rope, balls, huevos. And then a Super Eagles Edge Chico, he goes for it, gets countered into a Hurricane Rana, and then Mr. Iguana hits another Hurricane Rana, this time a diving Hurricane Rana over the top, takes Ethan to the floor, and then a flying headbutt a la a certain guy named Benoit, or Benoit, for a near fall on the inside, but Ethan's able to slam Mr. Iguana off the top rope, then grabs Twisted Green, basically, Matt Hardy's or Jeff Hardy dude's Twist of Fate, so he hits the Twisted Green, 1, 2, 3 to retain, and still the Canadian National Champion. Good match, 3.25 out of 5 stars. But Ethan, still your Canadian National Champion. And that's that. Alright, after that, we get Kendall Gray. She's all happy with winning, shocking the world, basically, and winning the Women's Iron Survivor match. She's like, I can't believe I won! And then Sol Ruka comes in, says, I would have won if it wasn't for those middling kids. No, basically. Says, I would have won if I wasn't hurt, meaning her leg, which is still kind of beat up. And anyway. So then my girl Maddie Wankowski comes in, says, that sounds like you're just, complaining, you're bitching and complaining, and bitching and complaining, which Sol was. Says, that's an excuse. And then, talks about, Kendall, you got spewed out of your boots by Delta on Tuesday night. But, actually, Kendall says, I got speared by Delta and I still won. Pretty much, you did. And then Sol says, me and Delta are still friends. Technically. I mean, I think there was a segment during the show, or it was on a YouTube exclusive, where Sol FaceTimes Delta and talks about, saying, I was wrong about this, I want to be friends again. I'm like, oh, God. I mean, if I'm Delta, I'm like, rap. Sounds like the Peanuts teacher. I'm not listening! I'm not listening! If you've never seen The Princess Bride, fuck you. Fuck you into oblivion. I'm sorry. The Princess Bride, probably one of the greatest 80s movies ever. So funny. It's great. It's like if you haven't seen Spaceballs, we're not friends. If you haven't seen Princess Bride, we can't be friends. If we haven't seen Back to the Future, we cannot be friends. Breakfast Club, cannot be friends. Fast Times at Ridgemont High, cannot be friends. If you haven't seen a good 80s movie, even The Godfather or Scarface, I don't know you. I didn't grow up then! That's why we have DVD. That's why we have Netflix and Amazon, so many streaming sites you can just, go on your Commodore 64 computer and look it up! Or on your PlayStation or your Xbox, or on your computer. look up 80s epic 80s movies and you get like one of them, then we can talk. But most of you fucktards were born in like the 90s on. Don't know shit about the 80s. The greatest decade ever. Great music, great movies, great music, big time celebrities. Just an amazing decade. Near the tail end, it was kind of like, you know. But then we got to the 90s, it was good, and then grunge came around, kind of killed metal for a little bit. But still, kick-ass music. With, Nirvana, and Alice in Chains, Stone Temple Pilots, Pearl Jam, the big four of grunge. And pretty much without grunge, there wouldn't be, like, the second wave of heavy metal. I'm just saying, and people are like, oh, grunge, didn't do nothing for metal after that. Wrong! You are wrong! Because what came after Kurt Cobain died, pretty much, most of the grunge bands, they still had great albums, no doubt about that. But then, new metal came around, like Limp Bizkit and, Creed came around later on, Nickelback, Korn, Slipknot. Pretty much from the late 90s into the 2000s, and then the new wave of British heavy metal, not the Wobble Part 2. You had bands coming out of the woodwork. Lamb of God came around, Motionless in White, Disturbed, Seven Dust, Stained, Godsmack, In This Moment, New Year's Day. From pretty much the mid-2000s on. Just metal was just like going like a skyrocket to Pluto. Even though there's no Pluto, but you know what I mean. Planet X. Or Melmac, or whatever, you know what I mean? And if you've never seen Alf, we're not friends either. Alf just, Really? I know people call me a cat rapist, but if I was that guy, then what does that make Alf? Alf used to go after cats too. But me being a human being, if I'm going after a cat, I'm going after actual women pussy, not animal pussy. So get it right. I know it was a bad joke 3 years ago. I mean, get over it. But if you can't, you got problems. And if you feel that way, I guess you're not getting any lately. You wanna go that route. I'm just saying, but I love animals, but I never abused an animal, and I would never do something like that. I'm like other people I know that, whip the shit out of their animals. Should be in jail, but, they know who they are, but I reserve to say anything. And they're going to be judged when Judgment Day comes. So, and not enough repenting to the Lord. Jesus Christ ain't going to help you either. You're going to have a great life from now until the day you die, but when you get to the gates of heaven, God's going to like, oh, yeah, I remember this. Down you go. When I get up there, I'm going to see my good buddy St. Peter, who's going to like, oh, let him in. Let him in. He's Mr. VIP. Get him in. They'll just say, yeah, the ladies are to the left. Oh, well, that way. I'll go see the ladies, but when I get up there, the first person I'm going to see is my good buddy. My good buddy Mikey Awesome. Mike! What? Get in here. Oh, okay. Were you busy? No, I'm just fine. What do you want? Just want to say, if I get to the, when I die and go to the gates of, go through the gates of heaven, I want you to be right there. Oh, what? You mean I'm not going to be there? Well, obviously you will be. Jerome might be there too. Speaking of you and Jerome, by the way, Mikey, I saw a match where I think you were the heavyweight champion of ECW, and you kicked the fuck out of Jerome. You busted wide open, and you picked him up, and you threw him over the top rope through a table, then you came back in and gave him the awesome splash, and you won. That was awesome. What do you think about that? Well, I know. I had to teach Jerome that I'm awesome. Even if he wanted to, try to kill me, but he couldn't. But I taught him a lesson. I kicked his ass because I'm awesome. And I kept my title. Jerome never was the heavyweight champion and never will. Okay, Mike, calm down. What'd you say, motherfucker? Jerome, you just take the loss like a man. You go over there, snort your cocaine like Tony Khan does. By the way, that's how, Jerome and Tony Khan would have had a field day if Jerome was still alive. Imagine Jerome in AEW. Him and Tony Khan backstage would have a ball. They would have to get twice the amount of cocaine that Tony Khan gets now. That would be an interesting conversation, and, they're at the table, they have a big gram, or not even big gram, like 1 gram, like 100 grams of cocaine, like right on the table. Before they even snort the cocaine and everything, they start talking. And Jerome's like, why are we talking here, motherfucker? And then Tony's like, Jerome, I want you to know I got this cocaine, it was great. I want you to be on my show, 8 o'clock on TBS. I'm gonna never blink at you. I hope you have big, great success here in AEW. And then Jerome's like, shut the fuck up, I want to snort my cocaine, motherfucker. We'll take the site to put up your ass. And Tony goes like, okay. He snorts a big line of cocaine. That would be hilarious. And Jerome's like, pfft. You call that a snort, motherfucker? And then Jerome with his big fucking house. Shit. And Tony Khan's like, oh my god, I had to fear for my life. That would be the ultimate, man. That would be funny as fuck. Tony Khan, coming to you live from, never mind. Tony Khan and Al Pacino would be funny if they ever remade Scarface. You have somebody that looks like Al Pacino. He goes, say hello to my little friend. And then you see Tony Khan just like snorting a line. And no, I never did cocaine in my life, but it's a hell of a drug. And no, there's nothing in here to make me go crazy, so you can't tell. You can't tell! You cannot tell. I can't even do it. I don't want to spill it, but you can't tell. You can't tell is this mixed. You cannot tell, because it would be, you would see the mixing of it. So, here's to you, fucker. If you think I drink, fuck you. We're going to be drinking in a couple weeks. Not once, but twice. But you won't know because you won't see me on YouTube in 2 weeks. So, get it out now, but I'm not going to get it out, But I'm going to have fun for the next couple weeks. And then, pretty much, I'm done after Christmas. Gonna take a little time off, come back a week later, start 2026 with a good old-fashioned Gilmore Cutter-like. Hold on, let me get it. Oh, hold on. Right there. Stay still. Bang! And we're going to start off 2026 just like we started every other year prior to that with a good bang. And we keep going. We're going to kick ass. We already had big milestones already this year. 1,000 subscribers on this very channel. We're on the big path up now. We're now over 1,010 subscribers. I don't know the official count, but we're getting there. I think we'll probably get close to 1,050 by the end of this month. We have that. getting close to around 7. I haven't checked. Can I check? Yeah, I can. We do that. Let's do it. Like Paul Stanley would say, right, ladies? Yeah. Wait, hold on. I just saw something. Okay. Anyway, saw something on my Facebook that was like, what the fuck? Alright. Let me look up my actual live stats for my channel. Alright, over 1,010 subscribers on this very channel. And then, getting close to 760 subscribers on the Rant channel. Climbing up there on the Metal Guy channel. We're stuck a little bit. Now I got a couple of subscribers. Thank you for subscribing, even you monotonous douchebag trolls. Yeah, a little over 680 on the Metal Guy channel. Shadow Slayer. I know we're stuck at 24, but that's fine. That's a throwaway channel, so not a main channel. It's just, you know, I have 4 main channels, but even though I have 5, but really 4. It's like Mercedes Benz belts. You know, she already has like 11, right? She has 12, but half of them don't get defended. You know, last night she beat Leda Gray for to retain her TBS title. Big fucking whoop. I got that. And on the main channel, over 1,250 subscribers. So we have that. And, that's pretty much it for that. And we move on. But we hit a lot of milestones, and we're gonna keep going into 2026, and that's it. So maybe we'll hit 800 subscribers on the Rant channel. Excuse me. Do that. Maybe we'll hit 1,300 on Killer Demons. This very channel, we might hit, like I said, we might hit 1,100, 1,250 by the end of the year, next year. I mean, we'll see how it goes, but we take each day as it comes, and we continue. And if you don't like it, tough shit. Because most of you will never hit those milestones. I know most of the people have way more than me, but I don't care. So. I got 700. I got 7,500 subscribers, Peter. Do I care? No. Well, half of them are fake anyway, so. So is yours. I'm like, no, not many of them. Well, why can't they comment? I don't care about that. I don't care. I just do this for fun. I'm not doing this for my health. I'm not talking into my phone just for my health. You know, I'm just doing this as a hobby. Just talk about wrestling or music or whatever the fuck I want to talk about. And if I get one comment or, you know, I get a few comments a month or whatever, it may be a few subs a month, I don't care. Whatever I get, I get. But it is what it is. I still get more than you get on your dead channels with no freaking videos and barely any subs. And even if you have a dead channel with like 30 subs and like 7 videos, half your views are clout. So, and your community posts are horrible. But I digress. Moving along with that, I pretty much don't care. Have fun on your semi-successful channels, and have fun on your dead channels. But just don't ask my opinion, because I don't care about it. I don't care about your channel with like 8, 10, 12,000 subscribers. I don't care. I don't really care if you have 30 subs and barely any views on your channel. I don't care. I care about myself and my subscribers, my friends on and offline, my family, the woman. That's all I care about. I don't care too much about a bunch of douchebags on YouTube who think they're above the law. And they think, oh, I'm not going to get caught. I'm not going to do this and that. Wrong. Wrong. You think you're untouchable, but you're not. You think you have free speech, you don't. And all the bullshit you do is going to come back and haunt you really bad. So don't say I never warned you and think that I'm talking out my ass. 2 people found out about that. They know who they are. I told them. Fuck around with the wrong people, you're gonna win stupid prizes. And now one is gonna be going into Slammer for more time. Another one's about to go join them. And maybe more coming up maybe next year. So as I always say, stay in your lane. Do your shit, let me and other people do our shit. And if you don't like us, too fucking bad. Because we don't like you either. But we're not gonna go out and do the bullshit that you do. We're gonna just live our lives and not give a fuck. That's one of my main goals of 2026. Not give a fuck about what people say to me on YouTube. Because really, it's just the same bullshit I've heard for 17 years almost, so. But then they want to take it a little step further, and then, the curse comes on. So, like I said before, don't say I didn't warn you. Because you're living a good life, and then next thing you know, you fuck around, and then you ruin it. I may be almost 50, but my life is pretty damn good. It's not great, with my mental and physical problems, but I still live life the best way I could. And if I don't have the best person in the world, as my girlfriend or whatever, I have a lot of friends, I let them do their shit, it's fine. My life ain't perfect, your life ain't perfect either. You think it is, it's not. You can have the best job in the world, do I care? No. I can have the worst job in the world, but I'm making money. But I don't have the worst job in the world, because I'm making good money. And you're not, and that's that. But you want to make fun of all that shit, my height, saying I'm a Make-A-Wish kid, which I'm not. I'm just gifted and lucky to just meet great people in the world of wrestling and music and, anywhere else. Right place at the right time. It's not like, oh, I'm gonna meet, let's just throw something out there. I'm gonna go meet Salma Hayek. I would love to, too. In real life, I would really love to. But, it's like, oh, I went to an event, I met Salma Hayek. I didn't pay for it. If I just randomly went to an event and I, happened to meet Salma Hayek, she's there, and, out of the blue, I'm there too, and I ask her nicely for a picture, and I take a picture, I post it on my social media, and then people are like, oh, he's a Make-A-Wish kid. Right. Oh, I got on stage for In This Moment. That's a Make-A-Wish thing, right? Oh, you paid for that. No, I didn't pay for that. That event I did not pay VIP for. I didn't even have to pay at all. Because it was a thing for members that have Sirius XM. I was one of them. And they had a thing. They put up on Facebook. I saw it. Went on Sirius XM. Typed my name. Typed the missus' name as well. We got our VIP passes. And we didn't have to pay Zetto. Most of the events I've gone to when I met In This Moment, Zetto. Most of them, Zetto. you know? And all the pictures I have on my social media that are epic pictures and stuff like that, when I show when I'm show the stage and everything of like Megadeth and Disturbed and whoever it may be, Zakk Wylde even. Not because I got a VIP pass for free. Even if I didn't get a VIP pass, I get there early and I try to get to the front of the stage because, I like to get to the front. If I can. Sometimes I can't. Sometimes most concerts I sit in the balcony, but I get great footage. I have great seats, I take good pictures and everything. I have a good time. But you can't logically say and prove that every time I meet somebody, like be a wrestler or a musician or anything like that, it's Make-A-Wish. Because I'm not a Make-A-Wish kid. I'm a normal human being. I may act funny and my epic impressions and satire and shit, but you can't prove any of that shit. You just womp 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 womp. Just jealous they got 2 million hits, so. And I will keep bragging about that until the day I die. Because you can't do anything better. You can't do better, so. I was on SmackDown and Roman passed by me, 5 million hits. Yeah, but who's that really go to? I put up on my channel. Good for you. Good for you. I have the intro of me getting on stage within this moment. I could have put the video on. I did put the video on my this channel, but me having a senior moment got a copyright claim. I thought it was a copyright strike. That's why I took it off the channel. I could put it right back on if I wanted to, and I might. I might download it, put it back on my channel, and upload it as a video. Even if I do get copyright claimed, I don't care. So, you never know. I might put it back on tonight. And that video is still growing, by the way. Over 2 million now. 2 million plus. So. But don't come at me and say I'm a Make-A-Wish kid. And then make fun of my height. Oh, this woman's 5'6" and has to come down just to, get on the same level with Peter. What is he, like 5'1"? No, I'm 5'4". But she didn't, these celebrities are like 6 foot tall. They don't have to freaking bend down to get to my height. They don't have to do that. That's up to them. They want to do that. To get to fit in the shot, maybe, yeah. But they don't have to. So, I can meet The Undertaker, the GOAT. I can meet Roman, the GOAT. Roman doesn't have to bend down. It's just the height difference. It's just one thing. But, I'll stand next to Roman and put on my one, or I'll stand next to Trish Stratus or Mina, Mina Shirakawa or Timeless Tony Storm, who are a little bit bigger than me, maybe a little bit my height or a little bit lower. Still, we'll take an epic picture, But it won't be like, oh, he's a Make-A-Wish kid. She's taller than him. She has to crouch down to be at his level. Again, jealousy. That's all it is. All it is, and I'll use Carmelo's term, all it is and all that it ever will be. So put the fries in the bag. You're washed, Unk. So, keep yapping. Because you'll never be better than me, ever. In your pathetic lives, you 20, 30-year-old bastards. Respect your elders and go fuck yourself. And that is my rant for the day. Thank you. Alright, back to wrestling! Because I know that'll be clipped and I don't give a fuck. Where are we here? Alright, so Kendall Gray talks to Sol Ruka, so he's like, well, if I wasn't injured, I would have won. And Kendall's like, well, I got speared out of my boots by your best friend this past Tuesday. I still won. And then Sol's like, well, me and Delta are still friends. For now. I still think Delta's gonna turn by the end of the year by New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve, but we'll see what happens with that. Alright, after that, we go to the back. By the way, I gave that 2.25 out of 5 stars. We go to the back, we have the big man, Oba, the champion. He's talking to Dion Lennox once again, like we saw on Tuesday. We have another stare down with him. And Oba hopes Dion wins the Iron Survivor men's match so he can fight again, so Oba can smash him again. It could happen. I hope not, but we get that. Alright, then we get a video, hype video for Tatum Paxley and Izzy Dane, Brookie Hogan 2.0. We get that. Match number 4 on your scorecard. Tatum takes on Izzy Dane, who came out with Sean Spears and Nico of the Cuckling. Tatum comes out, wet hair, makeup all messed up. Kind of feels like Daphne, and when she got mad. Give me those Daphne vibes, We miss you, Shannon. 4 years and counting. All she needed to do was just go to the hospital, get some help, maybe go to rehab, something, and she'd still be alive and talking to us today, but the price you pay when you, the Hana Kimura effect, Hana Kimura got bullied online, couldn't get some help, but just ignore it. She killed herself, and then the same thing happened to Daphne. And many others who've been bullied online for many, many, many years. Couldn't take it anymore. And then you see this in school. It's sad. And mental health is not talked about online, in which it should be more. I'm trying to advocate that, but mental health and mental illness should really be studied more and talked about more on social media. I'm just saying. But it's people that have been bullied for like 7, 8, 10, 12 years. I get the treatment here on YouTube for ever since I started here 16 plus years ago. And it got to me a lot. And I said a lot of dumb shit, which I rightfully regret some of it, because some people, they deserve to get what I say to them, and more, but I digress. But, at least they take accountability for some of the shit I've done on this website and in my life, so, and I'm almost 50 now, I gotta, I can always act like a kid. I always want to, say, I want to go back to the glory days when I was 21. Can't do it when you're 49. You can think about it, but you can't, do that shit. So I'm trying my best going into next year to actually, be 49 instead of 21, 25, 30, whatever. So I'm going to kind of pull myself back a little bit from going wild and crazy sometimes, but, I just have to bring some of it into my show. So if you want to take it seriously, like I'm crazy, I'm on my medication, go ahead. Go ahead, because you don't know me from a hole in the wall. You just know what I've done on this website. You don't know what I've done in real life, so you can't judge me, so. Because like that great song by this very band, I'm misunderstood. Misjudged and misunderstood. But, like I said, people can say whatever they want about me. That's all they got. That's all they got. Misjudge me, slander my name, and it's gonna come back to haunt you. one way or the other. Don't say I didn't tell you. Right, moving on. Alright, so Izzy and Tatum was a pretty good match. Back and forth they went. Izzy tries to psycho trap on the announce table. And she actually hits it, she sends Izzy into the table, but then Shawn Spears pops up with Tatum's dolls, and then he rips the head off of one. After Tatum's like, "Give me that! I have the dolls now!" And Spears like, "Okay," rip the head off. And then Tatum got all mad, smacks the crap out of Shawn Spears. And then Tatum charges back on the inside, then hits a big boot to face, then a choke slam, or choke bomb per se, and Izzy Dame gets the win in under 13 minutes. I was hoping maybe somebody would come out and help Tatum, but that didn't happen. So Izzy Dame gets the win, and she's all happy and everything, and then we see Tatum leaving, and she does not look pleased. She doesn't know. I don't know what's going to happen with her. She basically feels like she let the fans down. She let herself down. I mean, even during the match, Izzy's like, "Why won't you evolve?" Is that foreshadowing that Tatum's going to be, relegated to Evolve now? I hope not. I mean, she wins the Evolve Women's Championship. That'd be great for her, but I'd rather her stay in NXT. Maybe get a chance to go to the main roster. Not that she might do anything there. I would put her with Nikki Cross. That's what I would do. Or let her go to maybe do a trade. Have her go to TNA. Maybe get back together with Rosemary. And maybe put her together with Killer Kelly. You got 3 creepy girls. Work something out with that. Or you put her in NXT, you put her in Evolve, let her hang out with Wendy Choo Choo again. And then maybe bring in another evil character. I don't know. Or you have Wendy Choo Choo, what she really should do is get out of that stupid gimmick she's in now. Go back to her being Tianxia Wendy Choo Choo, or Mei Ying. Maybe get Xia Li to come join in. That would be an epic stable. You have Tianxia without Boa. That would be nice. You don't have to have Boa. Boa's not even around anymore. So, but they fucked up Tianxia so bad. It was good. It was like a dark Japanese, Chinese, or Korean faction. Because you had Boa from, I think Boa was from Japan or China. Xia Li is from China. And then Mei Ying, or Wendy Choo, Karen Q, whatever you want to call it, I think is Korean or some type of Asian. That would have been epic. You throw in, you don't even have to, throw that in. They were great, and then, I think Hickenbottom, HBK, and maybe Vince just said, you know what? Even Triple H, they said, you know what? We gotta break these people up. They're not popping off or anything. And then they go their own way. Xia Li does her own thing, goes to the main roster. Bye-bye to you, pretty much. She gets released, goes to TNA. And now she's the TNA Women's Champion, the Knockouts champ. Boa was gone. Then he kind of came back. We see him talking to Dante Chen. I'm like, this could be interesting. They did something on NXT Level Up, but there's no Level Up anymore. So, Dante Chen's like a one in a million appearance. I think he's maybe on Evolve. Boa, I don't know what happened to him. And then Mei Ying turned into Wendy Choo Choo. Pajama Woman as we call her. And she has some good feuds here and there. And then had a little thing with Rosemary, which didn't end well for her. And then now she's in Evolve where she's basically doing the same fucking gimmick, but I think she's a face now, or I don't know if she's a heel. Went back to being a heel again, but I'd rather have Wendy Chu, Karen Q, go back to Mei Ying and have epic promos, spitting the smoke out and everything. That was interesting. But, as always, WWE, when they get Asian people in, they fuck them up. If your name is not Kairi, Asuka, or Io, or, I put Nakamura in, I fit him in there, but, those main 4 people from Asia ain't getting, or the stars. Anybody else from Japan ain't getting shit. They had Saray, the, what was her gimmick? The Warrior of the Sun, or the Empress of the Sun, something like that, right? They bring her in, everybody's like, yay, Saray, yay! And then they put her in this stupid schoolgirl gimmick. I'm like, what is this? Like, we see her as a schoolgirl, and then the sun appears, and then we see a bright light, and then she turns into Saray. They had Maiko Satomura, become the NXT UK champion. Had great feud with Mandy Rose. She had another great feud, I think, with I forget the other one, but she was good, and then now she's retired. But, Boa did nothing. Dante Chen, gone to probably Evolve or catering. I don't know where he went. Shinsuke, he started off good, then bad, then good again, then bad. Then he turns into a Ronin, a ninja. Then he comes back with his epic NXT theme song, and then proceeds to get destroyed in that Survivor Series match. And now we never haven't seen him. Is he gonna go away again? And then you go away for like 6 months and then we'll never hear from him again? I don't know. I don't know what WWE's thinking sometimes. And what's stupid is they blocked Nakamura from going to Japan to see Tanahashi and Okada fight. I mean, really? Really? Nakamura can't go to Japan to see his friends? I mean, let Io do that. Io, Asuka, and Kairi, they can go back to Japan for a little while. Io has this building arcade she's pretty much in the process of doing. It's almost done. And she has to go back and forth, to see progress. And then, she has family there too. Io and Kairi the same. And Shinsuke. Once in a while, they go back to Japan, see their families, hang out, stuff like that. But then they do a 360, and freaking Shinsuke can't go to Wrestle Kingdom to see Tanahashi and Okada for the last time. I don't know Shinsuke's contract situation. I asked for my release. I want to go back to Japan and maybe have one final run or one final match in New Japan and say fuck WWE at this point. I mean, you can't say that about Io, Kairi, and Asuka because they're having a monster storyline right now. Kairi's doing her best work right now, in my eyes. Asuka, the same thing. Io, forget it. The stratosphere. So they treat the Asian people like Kairi, Asuka, and Io like they're goddesses, but then you look at Nakamura, and they're like, okay, we'll push you a little bit, and then we'll de-push you, then we'll put you in catering, you won't be seen for 6 months, and everybody's like, oh, what's going on? Is he injured? No, creative doesn't have anything for him, because as we all know, creative is uncreative about being creative, absolutely. So you have nothing for him, why don't you just release him? Don't give us he's going to be out 6 to 8 months. We don't know what's going on with him. It feels like Wardlow. I hate saying it. Wardlow in AEW. I know he's hurt again. But how long did it take him from when he got hurt the first time? And then he was, He was medically cleared. He's saying we were gonna come back, and then everybody's like, "What the fuck happened to Wardlow? Staying home on his ass, collecting a paycheck when he's not wrestling." I wish I had that, you know. And then Wardlow comes back. I think he joined the Don Callis family. Then he got hurt again, and now he's back on his ass. They had the same thing with Brian Cage. Brian Cage had an option year. He wanted to leave. Tony Khan's like, no, I'm going to pick it up. They pick it up. He comes back. And he did a few things here and there. Nothing great. 6-man tag team champions with the Gates of Agony. That was okay. Or what do they call them? The Gates of Cage or something like that. And now Brian Cage is hurt. He's having complications with the injury. I don't know if he does get medically cleared, probably by next year. If he does come back to AEW, what are you going to do with him? Put him in Ring of Honor? I mean, what are you going to do? Some of these people that we haven't seen for many, many, many months and years, what are you going to do with them? They just like, all right, I have a 3-year contract, and I finished my first year, great. Second year starts off really shitty. I get injured for like a year, and then I'm basically in my contract year, but I haven't been on TV for 12 to 18 months. And then people sending me emails and texts, and what's going on with you? I don't know. I'm just sitting on my ass and waiting for Tony Khan or Hunter or HBK or even Carlos to say, hey, we need you for a match or something like that. We got a great idea. I don't know. But as far as Tatum goes, I don't know where she goes from here. I would hate for her to go to Evolve. And maybe she does go to Evolve and evolves. Does she come back to NXT? And they give her the belt back? I think they gave Tatum the belt because JC Jane was basically becoming we have the running joke, JC Mahal, gender my balls, Now she's the champ again, and people are like, oh, why? They should have gave it a Lola Vice. Yeah, I agree. You think Kendall Gray is going to beat JC at New Year's Evil or before then? Probably not. And then fucking HBK comes out and says, oh, Mandy Winkowski's going to be a breakout star. I'll believe that when I see it. I'll believe that when I see it, Hunter. Mr. Hickenbottom. I'll believe it when I see it, HBK. If you're right, I'll give you props, but if you're not, we got problems. But and I understand people don't like JC Jane. I understand that. They don't like her as champ. But she plays a good heel champ. Her promos have been pretty damn good. Just shooting the shit, if you will. Just laying it into them, to the women. Oh, Kendall Gray, the new flavor of the month. Pretty much, She, it's like, I'm all that. I'm the champ. I got my crew behind me. Haven't we heard that somewhere before? I hate bringing up Roman, but, But in reality, Roman didn't even need the Usos, Solo, or even Sami Zayn to win his matches. People are like, oh, his 3-year reign was just basically the Usos and Solo and Sami helping him out. Technically, you're right, but other than that, Roman never needed him. He doesn't need nobody to win a title. And I think when he beats Cody or he beats Punk, is he going to have anybody helping him? No. Like I say, oh, Seth Rollins comes back, helps Roman win the title, and then he's going to face Roman at Mania or some shit, right? Let's hypothetically say that. And then people are like, oh, Roman won the title thanks to Seth Rollins. You're not getting the picture here. Roman doesn't need anybody. Even the wise man, he never needed Paul Heyman. He never needed Paul Heyman when the pandemic era hit, and then, he comes back. Next thing you know, we see Roman doing a promo with Adam Pearce when he was about to win the title in 2020, and then Paul Heyman just shows up like, wait a minute, what? What's going on here? Oh, they gave Paul Heyman to Roman because they needed a mouthpiece from Roman because his promo sucked. And I'll give you guys credit. Heyman really helped Roman get into this, tribal chief gimmick. This character, if you will. And Roman's promos got way better. Not the suffer with succotash shit. So, technically, did Roman need Paul Heyman? In a way, yes. In a way, no. Maybe, yes, maybe for the promos, but no for the wrestling ability and all that shit. And what if, I always say the what ifs of wrestling, what if Roman came back at SummerSlam 2020, right? But without Paul Heyman. You just would have came back, did his tribal chief gimmick without Paul Heyman. Imagine that. You think the bloodline would be would have been that big? Would Paul be with Roman? Paul could have been with Seth Rollins like he was before they turned on him. He could have been with anybody. He could have been with Seth Rollins. He could have been with Austin Theory, which he's probably going to be with soon. Because they're doing the whole, who's the masked man? Is it Austin Theory? Is it Buddy Matthews? Now they're saying it's Ricky Starks. That would be interesting because Ricky's going to the main roster. I read something like Ricky, Sol Ruka. Who else is going up? I heard Ricky, Oba, Sol Ruka, and I think 2 other people go up to the main roster. So I could see the masked man being Ricky. Him joining the Vision though? When it was supposed to be Austin Theory? And then Ricky being a heel again? Like he was in AEW? He started off as a face, then turned to heel, then turned back to face. Then when it came to NXT, he's been a face. Now you're going to turn him heel? Just because he lost the title to go to the main roster? Okay. And then have him feud with Punk. Okay, we'll go with that. But I don't know when this big reveal is going to even be. I don't know. It might be on Saturday's main event. It might be on January the 5th. It might be January the 9th on SmackDown. Might be January the 2nd on SmackDown. The first 3-hour show of the year. But who knows? If it's Ricky, if it's Buddy Matthews, it's Austin Theory, it's somebody else, like an indie guy. Because they have new footage of the masked man showing his face like right into the camera. People saying it might be Grayson Waller. Because you have to look at the video and you can't say it's Edge because he can't run up the cage like that. It's somebody from NXT. It's somebody from NXT. And I'm thinking it could be Ricky Starks because he ran up the cage really quick. Could be Buddy Matthews because he can probably... I don't know, but with him and his injured ankle, it may or may not be Buddy Matthews. I think it could be Grayson Waller. Here's a theory I'll throw out. How about Santos Escobar? I doubt that. That's like a 3% chance. It's Santos, because, they released him, and then they brought him back, and now I'm like, what are we doing with Santos? Was he at the casino? Santos is at the casino in Puerto Rico, and they left his freaking casino card there, and then he's, by chance, Issa picks it up. Hey, look, I got Santos Escobar's card. I don't know, but I feel bad for Izzy. Not Izzy, sorry. I feel bad for Tatum. I don't know where she's going to go from here, so I guess we'll find out Tuesday night on the program. But decent match for what it was. 2.25 out of 5 stars, and that's it. Alright, let's finish this bad boy off with, well, it is up next. We had a video for Shiloh, my good buddy Shiloh Hill. Well, after the Tatum-Izzy match, Ricky Starks is pissed about losing, and then he talks to Javon Evans. Where is it? Okay, where's my notes? Alright, yeah, he's upset with his loss, but Javon tries to give him a pep talk. And we'll see if Javon can win the men's Iron Survivor match. I mean, they did talk on Tuesday, where we saw NXT Anonymous catch him in the act of talking to each other. So, and then you kind of got the tease that we're going to get Javon Evans and Ricky Starks for the title. We got that. Alright, so then we see Shiloh, and he does his final chat. And then, okay. And then, talks about one time I watched squirrels playing and wanted to know what it would be like to communicate with them. Okay. Then I chased one of them and finally caught it, but the high school football coach saw me and asked me to play football. Then he goes into a story about getting into a fight when he was a kid, lost his tooth. No wonder when we saw him on LFG, he had no teeth. All those fights he was in, he just lost teeth. And then he had to go to... He probably racked up a monster dental bill. I mean, monster bill. I mean, my teeth ain't great. I mean, I got teeth now, look. See, these are all new over here. I gotta get an extraction here, I gotta get one here. But I have dental coverage, so I don't have to worry about it. Even if it costs an arm and a leg. And I have to pay premium or a certain amount of money for the balance. Because sometimes, you get like a tooth extraction, or you get Roto-Rooter done in your mouth, and some of the surgery, the insurance company can't pay for, and you get like a monster bill, which is a pain in the ass to freaking pay. You have like a $6,000 dental bill. How are you gonna pay that? Installments, basically. Which could take years to pay off. That's why people are in so much debt. You talk about the U.S. debt, Trump and everything. That's good. And speaking of Donald Trump, my good buddy Donald Trump, he was talking about the dividend checks, the new stimulus checks that he was talking about that's going to be coming in next year, middle of next year, probably between June and August. He was talking about that, and I think we're getting the Doge check, the Elon check. Like, who wants that? I mean, I'm all for that, but if we get 2 checks this year, people that actually really need it, yeah, I'm happy for you, but it's just another, oh, I got a big paycheck from Donald Trump. I got a stimulus check for $2,000. Put that in the bank, just save it. Maybe, go on a vacation or buy a few things. I'm not gonna spend the entire thing, like certain people do. I remember we got that. I think it was the last time we got a stimulus check when Sleepy Joe Biden was around. We got I think it was $1,200, and then people go on freaking YouTube. It's like, oh look, I got my stimulus check. What am I gonna do with my check? They buying PS5s. They're spending $1,200 on electronics. I mean, why would you do that? When you could possibly, if you get a $1,200 check and you're down in the dumps, you can't afford your own food, you can't afford to pay your internet and cable bill. I mean, dude, You're gonna spend $1,200 on PS5 or the latest iPhone when you could save that money to help you out paying your bills, which I know would be like 6 months, depending on how much your cable and internet bill is. That'll come in handy, you know, if you're not working or you're waiting for disability or whatever, you're looking for a job and you need money, you get this check, like, oh, it's supposed to be about 5-6 months, but then that goes, 5-6 months goes really quick. You're like, oh shit, I need money again. So then you have to look for a job, you gotta have to do something. I got that stimulus check, I put it in the bank, I bought a few things, and then the rest was for bills. So if I get this $2,000 check, I'm putting that in the bank, gonna put away for my summer vacation, and then the rest is going to bills and bills alone. I might buy a few shirts here and there, but not gonna spend the entire $2,000 on fucking electronics or some shit. Or if the Doge check goes out and people saying, oh, we're gonna get $5,000. I don't think we're gonna get 5,000. I think we're gonna get up to maybe 5,000. But the dividend checks are not gonna go to the rich people that are making like $100,000 a year. I think it's gonna be like 75,000 below, which is good for like middle-aged families and low-income families that really need the help and shit like that. They'll come in handy, but they'll get the check, $2,000. They'll go right to the supermarket, buy all the food they want, buy all the clothes and merchandise that they get, and by the time they're done, you got like $50 in the fucking bank. And you're like, what happened? That's that. Alright, I'm going way off course. This is almost a 2-hour video. I should have been done already, but I got a lot to say. Anyway. Alright, so Shiloh talks about, getting back to Shiloh, tells a story about getting into a fight when he was a kid, losing a tooth. Then we see that he's talking to a machine, which says it's time for everyone to wake up. And apparently he's going to have his first match in NXT on Tuesday. Probably against some jobber like Dante Chen. Okay. And then people are like, oh, he's a Discord moderator. What? That's his gimmick, a Discord moderator. No, he's doing a dark web gimmick. That's what he is. Basically, I think he's basically doing what the hacker gimmick that Mustafa Ali was supposed to do. And that failed. Like, oh, we're not going to give it to him. We're going to give it to Shiloh. Okay. But these weird stories are like just weird. But it fits his character. And, being coached by the GOAT, The Undertaker, he's going to go places. I think he'll be a big star in NXT going into 2026. Dare I say he's the breakout star of the year. Or he wins that breakout tournament I don't know if they had it this year, but if they bring back the breakout tournament, I would love for him to win that. And then you go to the women, I think you give it to Maddie Winkowski. That's what I would do. But I'm not the booker. I'm just a almost 49-year-old schmuck from New York that knows more wrestling than you. And I could, given a chance, if, by the grace of God Almighty, this video goes to TKO, or goes to Hunter, and goes to, Nick Khan, or even you, Mr. HBK, or Tony Khan, or even Carlos Silva. It's like, oh, this guy knows a lot about wrestling. Let's bring him in. I'll do commentary. I'll freaking set up the ring. I'll take down the ring. I'll do fucking, I'll do whatever. I'll do interviews. Whatever it may be, I'll do it. But I won't do that. Some of the stuff, I won't do that. But, I know there's good people that watch my show, and I keep talking about, Tony Khan, and these people need to work. They need to hire me, because I do good commentary. I can do good interviews. I'll learn, I'll learn on the fly. I'll learn along the way. Extra advice from, some of the wrestlers, like people like Michael Cole, or, Tom Phillips, Matthew Waywall, Excalibur, Tony Baloney, Schiavone, even you, Brian Fraggleson Danielson, Nigel McGuinness, Caprice Coleman, the pastor, even if I have to talk to Ian Rickaboring, I'll learn, and I'll hone my craft, even if I make a few mistakes, so be it. But just to give my knowledge and passion of professional wrestling, the sport of professional wrestling, that'll make my day. I got my foot in the door, thanks to my good buddy Joel Maximo and my other good friend, Prince Nana, but, as much as I wanted to continue and get through the door, I wanted to live my life a little bit. So, maybe it was a bad choice on my part to continue working and making money and not, make a bad decision and get into wrestling when I have no money, But some people do that. Some people have great jobs. They're like, oh, I want to become a professional wrestler. They go to school, put down $500 to $1,000 a month or whatever, they have to pay for wrestling school, and they go for a certain amount of time, and then, you go to, like, Booker T's, reality of wrestling, or you go to any wrestler's school, and they put you on their indie card, or you put a tape out. It's like, hey, I'm this indie guy. I'm just starting out in wrestling. I want to get some, matches under my belt. You go to an indie show. You do okay. You could be a jobber at first, making $20. And then if you keep honing your craft and everything, you get up there. You get more money. You get noticed by WWE. You could be a security guard, making $50 or whatever for the night. Get beat up by Roman, whatever. You're having a good time, but on the side, you're honing your craft in the wrestling business. You could be on the indie circuit for 5-10 years, and you're like, well, I'm making medium-sized money. Am I ever going to, and you're sending tapes out, and then, like, Hunter and HBK and all these people like, oh yeah, we'll bring you in for a dark match. We'll see how you do. And then you had the match. You go to Tony Khan or whoever, and they say, oh yeah, good match. We'll call you. They don't call you for like a year. And then you're like, well, what do I got to do now? I'm going to be back in. I'm going to stay in the Indies for 10 more years? No. Then they just say, you know what? I'm done with wrestling. I'm going to find some odd job at McDonald's or whatever. They gotta live their life. So even if I did get my foot in the door in the wrestling business, I'm still at my, working in music and everything, living my life. But I'm not gonna stop my dream or anything to maybe possibly working in wrestling, even if I'm in my 50s or 60s. It could happen. You never know. With the grace of God Almighty, things happen. Good things happen to good people. Well, how's that line go? Good things happen for those who wait, or something like that. So, if I have to wait till I'm like 67 years old for the dream to finally become fruition, I'll take it. So, but right now I'm almost 50. I think that ship has sailed with me getting into my back in the door and going full, through the door. As much as I have some connections with Prince Nana, but I'm not going to give up with my music and everything. I'm not going to do that. So, and if I have to sacrifice, moving out of New York to go to Orlando, or just pack up my shit and just go from hotel to hotel and, don't have an actual home to go to, I'll do it. I'll rent. If I have to rent some rinky-dink apartment in Orlando, I'll do it. And I'll never see the light of day for that house. But whatever. Alright. That's that. Alright, so Shiloh Hill with his promo, I thought it was great. Moving on. Alright, then we get to the men's Iron Survivor match. It was great. Everybody got a pin with about 3.5 minutes left. Javon Evans, Leon Lennox, Joe Hendry, that idiot, Leon and Miles Bourne. It was just wild and crazy. Getting to the end of the match. Javon is back in after he got he was in the penalty box. Comes back in with a top rope gilly cutter to his boy Leon Slater for an fall. Miles makes the save. We have less than a minute left, so fast and furious we go. Super Born Again by Miles drops Javon, but then Dion Lennox makes another save, and then Leon Slater with a swanton 450 to Javon, but then Joe Hendry powerbombs Leon to the floor, and then Javon out of nowhere small packages Miles Bourne as time expired, like in the women's match. So Javon Evans shocks the world, wins the men's Iron Survivor match. Great match that it was, 3.25 out of 5 stars. So he will once again face Obafemi for the third time for the NXT World title. So we get that. He's celebrating. Oba comes out for a stare down. And then the lights go out. Sabu! No, not you, Sabu. You stay there. The lights go out, and then we see that video of the bridge, if you followed along from NXT this past Tuesday, when Oba and Ricky were signing the contract on the little TV behind Ava Raine. There was a little video of a bridge, and then Ava got that box, which she opened and pulled out. The contents was all black stuff. So we see that. We see a silhouette of some guy. We don't know who he is. And then Javon's like, what's going on? He turns around, and we see my cousin. Get in here, cuz. Get in here. Get me. My cousin, Tony D'Angelo, who's making me a great big, huge plate of chicken parmesan right now. And spaghetti. It's almost ready. I gotta go get it. But he makes me a chicken parm plate with pasta for $2. You get it for $12.50. But Tony D is back. Looks completely different. Doesn't have the hat. Doesn't look like the Don. He has this like this black jacket. His hair is up in a bun. And he just laid out Javon. And then Oba's like, what the fuck going on here? And then him and Oba have a stare down. So we're going to see what happens on Tuesday night with Oba, Javon, and my cousin Tony D. You can see a triple threat match. Maybe my cousin gets the belt when he beats Oba. Maybe it's a triple threat. He beats Oba for the title. Oba goes up to the main roster. We'll see him at the Royal Rumble. Javon stays in NXT, and then him and my cousin go at it all the way up to Stand and Deliver, or beyond that. But people say, oh, Tony D looked like Kraven the Hunter from Spider-Man. Maybe, but he, Tony D does not have, the Dawn look anymore. He looks like he's like when like Tony Soprano. Like this would be Tony Soprano if if Sopranos did another season. Like what happened after Tony was in the restaurant and Meadow Soprano came in? What happened? Did he get whacked? Did he get beat up? I don't know. But there was that episode where Tony fell asleep at the wheel and then he totaled his car and everything. They was in the hospital where he was in and out of a coma. And then they came out of the coma because Meadow was, talking to him and shit. And he came back. He was a boss. He was like, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to whack everybody that's in my way. That's what I think Tony D is coming back as. This, Tony Soprano, a rebirth, basically. Like, I'm going to whack everybody in NXT until I get the title. We could see that, but that's that. Alright, guys, I am out of here. Almost 2 hours show. I apologize for the length of the video, but it is what it is. You watched it anyway. So, I am out of here. I'm going to have my sensible dinner. I'm going to come right back with your SmackDown review, and then we'll talk about Collision and Dynamite maybe later or maybe tomorrow. So we got that. So until next time, my friends, peace out, rock on and rock on with you, cock out, and if you're not down with that, well, I got 3 words for you. Fuck you, man. And that's it. Until next time, peace.